You know, sometimes you look at a thing and it just is. It exists day in, day out. It serves its purpose quietly and with a reliability that never makes you question, should I upgrade? And look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with an old workhorse, but when you think about how much time that you actually spend at your desk, you might as well start to invest in that space and make it something you can be proud of. So today we'll be revitalizing this, the desk my dad works from home at. Since COVID-19, it's been not so tucked away in the quite visible corner of our living room, and gaining use ever since. Stick around to see my attempt to build a desk, give some advice on cable management, and try my best to add some tasteful touches to the top. This all begins with a little help from my friends over at flexispot. They were kind enough to send over their flexispot EC6B standing desk and sponsor this YouTube video. This will be the foundation for the rest of these plans to build upon. Almost 5 years ago, I bought a flexispot desk with my own money, and it's still working well all these years later. So this setup should go pretty smoothly if it's anything like that one was. On flexispot's website, they have a range of different colors for the tabletops and different wood options, but for this look, I really wanted it to be a more lighter look to kind of brighten up this room. So I chose the bamboo option. Now enough of me talking to you right now, let's start building the desk, and I'll still keep talking through a voiceover. I got the scissors, so it should be all good to go. Is packed in there well. That's what you want to see though for 70 pounds of table legs. One of the best parts about giant boxes is when you just get to throw all the random stuff with it. So we'll just yeet it across the room. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was anticlimactic, but still. A lot of packing here. But it's good to see that most of it is recyclable and very good cardboard. Like this pattern that they use is very good for holding up well and shipping. So I'm glad that they did this because even if I were to like step on it, it doesn't flex or really bend much. You can see right there, it's very good quality there. So I like the packing quite a bit. Now that my little pile is over there of garbage, we can kind of turn to this, but also not, because what we really need is to unbox the actual tabletop for the desk so we can mount all this hardware directly to it. The packaging does look a little bit bent and a little bit beat up, but I'm sure the desk will be fine if the packing is anything like the desk legs were. It seemed to be pretty well packed earlier, so I'm sure this is going to be no different. Also, it should go without saying, do not trust the things I do with sharp objects like scissors. These are my techniques, it works for me, but I bear no liability if anything goes wrong on your end. And even still, this is not my best work. It's this nice, light looking bamboo. Feels pretty good, and again, really sturdy packing on this side. This is like a nice hard plastic for the corners. Even though the outside box looked a little bit beat up, this looks like no problem. And there's even, okay, that's so nice. There's actually pre-drilled holes. This is gonna make it much, much easier when I have to install stuff later. So if the goal of this project was to make this room seem less cluttered, a little bit brighter, lighter, airier, I think right now I'm doing the exact opposite. We've got a lot of stuff going on here, but theoretically it should be all solved pretty soon. And in all the shots too, don't mind this table. Right now we're getting rid of this and it's just being temporarily moved here. Okay, now the fun part's out of the way and we just actually have to build it. So I think I might cut the camera for a bit or maybe do a small time lapse, but yeah, I'm gonna get started on working on this. All right, so as you can see here, these are the original feet that the desk legs come with, pre-installed. These just kind of screw onto the bottom of the feet, but then they also give you a bag with wheels in them. So that's exactly what I put on over here. And I believe they also lock on one of their sides as well. Yep, there we go, right here. These can lock in place. And then that makes this desk a lot easier to move around. And so I personally like this. But it's really nice that they just give that to you straight out of the box. You don't have to buy anything separately. They come with both options. You don't see any mess, do you?
No.
No mess.
No mess.
No mess.
No mess.
No mess. All right, so here's the progress about an hour in. I've gotten the first 3 steps done, maybe 4, but yeah, this last one, number 5, is gonna be where I need to start actually screwing things into the desk itself. I need to run a few errands first and then I'll pick it up, but that was about an hour to get the rest of this kind of set up in the meantime, and then I'll fine tune adjust that later on.
Sound like good.
All right, so after that short errand, we could call it, I am here now with the desk fully built and upright. And as you can see, it fully stands if you want it to. And the control center here also allows us to move it up and down just like we would expect. In a minute, I'll get to actually adding some more accessories to the desk and getting it all set up so it all works for him. But in the meantime, I want to show one more cool thing about the desk. The desk supposedly has a pretty high weight limit of about 352 pounds. And I see a bored puppy over there, so I figured we'd go and test that. I think it's time that we actually put that weight limit to the test. See if I can be sitting on the desk with my dog, and we go up. You can see so much up here from this height. I think he prefers his chair in the meantime, not the desk. Now I wanted to show off a few accessories I got my dad since he's been needing a couple things to upgrade the desk. And one of the first and most useful is this. This is a desk mat, and it just goes on your desk kind of like a mouse pad would, except this one is an extended desk mat. That means that it can just have more space for more things. So I'm planning on putting his keyboard and mouse on it, and there might even be space if he has like a drink or something nearby, or also his phone. You can get these for relatively inexpensive on Amazon, and they have lots of different colors, and this one is just a faux leather desk mat. The color here, as we can see, is this kind of darkish green. The back of it is like this suede Alcantara kind of feel. Not as nice as Alcantara, obviously, because I mean, it's only about 10 bucks on Amazon. The second thing I got him was also relatively inexpensive. It's just a little laptop stand, and this one actually folds, so it's nice for portable use as well. The thing is, I have a pretty big laptop stand. That means I can't really take it anywhere. It is nice, and it's made out of aluminum, and it feels good. But at the same time, it would be kind of cool if you could at least take this around with him if he doesn't want to only stay at his desk, since this is kind of his hybrid workspace. And here this is. It's pretty simple, it just folds out kind of like this, and then it tilts up. And then you can kind of lock these into whatever place that you want them in. So here, he can have his laptop propped up like that, and it stays locked in, has nice little rubber feet there, and it's made out of plastic, so the bottom here won't really scratch up anything, but it feels pretty durable and it doesn't bend too much or anything, so it's pretty good construction for what you're paying. And then the last thing I might have to zoom out the camera for, or maybe not, we barely just got it in shot, is this Honeywell lamp. It's pretty small, it's basic, but it does what you need. It has a few different light ranges that it can adjust to and different brightnesses, but it's gonna be a lot better than his current blue desk lamp right here that radiates quite a bit of heat and is probably wasting quite a bit of energy. All right, so now I've risen the desk back up because I'm gonna start the next step, which is cable management. Now, before I lock everything into place, I wanna at least start out by adding in a power strip so that everything can be connected underneath the desk, and there's only theoretically just one wire that runs below it. So to start it, I'm just gonna take some command hooks like these, and I'm just going to attach them to the bottom of this power strip and then mount that somewhere up here along this side, but not too close to the edge in case we want to add a monitor arm one day, or also another accessory I'll show you in a moment. And here we go. I already mounted the power strip right there. So that way the power cord runs down on the right side, right along there, and that'll be all we have to plug in. And now I want to start adding in some of the accessories, such as the desk legs itself. Those are powered, the monitor, the lamp, and the charger, of course, for the laptop. All right, so now as I'm starting to strap in the first cable for this power unit right here, I'm noticing that there's quite a bit of cable, and so I'm gonna need a cable tie to bungee most of this stuff up and get it in a little bundle right there. And then I want to use some of these little included cable clips that actually came with the flexispot desk. And I'll attach it to either side here and here, just so this kind of stays up and out of the way like that. That's a pretty good cable management strategy. If there's too much cable to fit through one of these, you can just use a cable tie first and then go on either side with the thinner cable wire, and then strap it down like that. And that way it has support on both sides. And just like that, as you can see, there's a little cable clip right there, another one right here, and these are just adhesive. And now they have fixed this to where it is pretty much on its own and hidden out of the way. Now it does hang down just a tiny bit, about an inch or so of room right there. But in my opinion, that's fine because this is on the second half of the desk. And so your knees would never really hit that or interfere with it in any way. So you should be good to go. But obviously if you wanted to tighten this up even more, you always could. Now another thing you could use are cable clips such as these little ones. And these ones are good for just single wires or thinner cables that you want to just channel across a longer area. But for longer and a lot more cables, then we have another kind of accessory. That other accessory is called a J Raceway. And these are for cables, and you can see that this would basically just mount under your desk, kind of like this. And you could feed all your cables through on one side, and then it basically just keeps it so you don't see a bunch of cables running behind it if you're looking at the other side of the desk. And this would attach to just some adhesive, and that would go right above here towards the end of the desk. After fastening the raceway into place, I cleaned up the rest of the cables using the same clips and command strips from earlier. And once those were all finished up, I added one last rubber cable holder that fastened with adhesive to hold all the frequently used cables for my dad's laptop. After a few hours of work across 2 days, running multiple errands for food and actual supplies, the setup turned out quite well, and now my dad has the option of sitting or standing with the new motorized desk. Big thanks to flexispot again for helping make this possible and sponsoring today's video. I hope you as well found something helpful or useful from this build, and I had a lot of fun making it. I'm trying out all sorts of new content for the channel lately, so let me know what you'd like to see more of in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Tech Device News.